We got plenty of those earlier in this
Leave.
qualifier, SG Esports. It's been a crazy long week. I can't believe it's already almost over. And then the Dota adventure just seems to continue. Again, it's been a ridiculous week of Dota overall with Epicenter, with Zotac, with Summit. It's around the clock, every region. And we're finally getting to the back end of this ridiculous qualifier sprint. And then LAN action actually is going to be starting right away next week. And I believe Star Ladder is going to be one of the first events. And then it just doesn't stop from there. We got like Star Ladder, Vanilla Masters, Epicenter, Summit 7, and then TI qualifiers. It's crazy. So if you like Dota, I think you're going to be having a really good couple of months. That's for sure.
Yeah, if you're working right now, just quit your job for the next 3 or 4 months and just enjoy some good Dota.
Grab all of your inheritance money and buy Battle Pass. Just throw your life away to Dota. Like us.
Yeah, dump your girlfriend, whatever. Just quit school. These are some like super good advices.
Dota's your girlfriend and teacher now. So here we go. Game number 2. MP opened things up. Ogre and Terrorblade already. Digital Chaos, Treant Protector, and a Legion Commander come out. So pretty typical start here. Again, I can't help but just put the footnote out there, Lacoste. How either it's the American region or just the meta overall. No Monkey King anymore. You know, he's gone. Earth Spirit, bleh. We don't care about these. Things are just ever evolving with the game. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, they have been quite nerfed. I think Monkey King is still like a really viable hero, but I'm not sure why it's not picked here. It seems like there are other priorities. For example, there's always Treant Protector. The DC decided to go for first pick this game, so hands on 3 and instant Ogre Magi. Because of that Ignite, he removes the whole instances with just 1 Ignite. And Terrorblade, again, Bloodlusted Terrorblade seems scary enough. Also, there is a Legion Commander against Terrorblade Illusions.
10 seconds
He just clears it with overwhelming odds later on. It's a pretty good counter.
5 seconds remaining.
Second phase ban's coming out, and this is something we want to keep a close eye on, Lacoste. You were saying that they might even consider banning the Enchantress on DC's side. We'll see if that's going to be the case or not. Look at that. They did give respect to MSS and his Sand King, and you were talking about it a bit. MSS, if given any opportunity to have like that one-on-one matchup, he seems to always be like styling on the lane and doing a lot of work. So I'm curious how they're going to be doing a bit of a gear shift to change that up a bit. Already hitting one of his comfort picks now. And then an OD going to be taken out. I really haven't seen any OD at all this qualifier, to be honest with you. But here MP are just fearing the strong mid laner, who is typically good against the Illusion Terrorblade.
Yeah, that's correct.
5 seconds remaining.
What I see... what do I see?
A draft?
Time.
Dota? Your hands?
MP can get Enchantress once again, or they can go for like more of a defensive hero. Like there it is, Enchantress banned in the second phase. Maybe get a hero like a Dazzle. It's really good with Terrorblade. Grave also works miracles against Legion Commander.
Yep. It would then take Owie away from being able to have that greedier kind of support pick, because then you have like an Ogre Dazzle pairing. But I'm all with you in the ideas of how Dazzle could just definitely add that extra defensive survivability for the Terrorblade and yet against the Legion Commander. We'll see if they consider those options or not for now. Stepping off for the Timber Saw. Arch rival to the Treant Protector, of course. I don't know if that's all the influence of that pickup, but very good at being able to burst through any sort of heavy Tonki heroes or melee cores, and that's pretty much a lot of the comfort pickups for someone like Mason and DC.
Yeah, I'm not so. No, I'm thinking about that Enchantress ban. I mean, we saw it yesterday, and they just got torn apart last game by it. You can't focus her, and after 35 minutes, she just deals so much damage. I mean, she didn't have any items for mana pool. If she had, I mean, she would even do more damage. just insane.
Hence the ban. Hence why they probably will continue to ban it there. But now he's shown
definitely.
other great picks too outside of that. You know, his Visage is always still a classic pickup. But we'll see if it's going to be a Pi Ogre kind of a game and Owie could do something else, or Owie might take up that Ogre and they can give Pi something more defensive or not. We're going at Digital Chaos' side of things now, though. You see a Timbersaw there, a Terrorblade there. Coming to my mind, I'm thinking silences would be nice. Obviously, disables, lockdowns, anyways to prevent these guys from doing their own thing. It's a shame we don't get to see any Disruptor anymore, because I feel like he's a classic pickup and something that could have been good against Timber and maybe even Terrorblade for the silence, but they're going to go for the Rubik pickup once again. And I got to say, Dubu did a pretty nice job. He had a fun little play there at the end by stealing that Sunder, too.
Yeah. Well, this doesn't seem like a classic Rubik game. There's not much you can steal here that it's good. I mean, it kind of looks funny when you steal meta from Terrorblade. It's like small little Rubik, but you don't deal damage. I'm thinking about maybe DC should get a hero like Invoker. It's good to clear Terrorblade illusions, just controlling Timbersaw. Also Sunstrike on top of Duel.
Abed's Invoker is very, very scary. I got to put the note that Meepo was not banned this game. And maybe a Timbersaw will help as a preemptive measure for that pickup, but it's just something you have to put out there. Abed's Meepo is very, very scary. Considered world best at the hero.
DC's turn
So,
to pick.
Oh God. Well, there it is.
Team ban.
There it is. Yeah.
Well, well then, I guess we don't have to wait long to find out if it's going to happen or not. I imagine MP had to be somewhat prepared for us. And again, it just happens. It's the repercussions of this very delicate second phase of bans. You find new respect in a hero, whether it be an Enchantress, for the side of DC, or for whatever reason, MP this go around say the Tinker and the OD are the big threats. It allows them to fortunately pass on options like banning the Meepo. So I don't know whether or not this is something MP are welcoming or slipped under their nose. I mean, what do you think? Based on the lineup they've already been able to throw together, Keeper of the Light with a Timbersaw before it, are these okay options to have against a Meepo? And do they have the option with a good fifth pick as well? I mean, Wyvern is out there too. DC might just ban it here.
Well, they don't need to ban Wyvern. They have Keeper of the Light and Ogre already, so it's not gonna be Wyvern. But seems like a good game for Meepo again. You mentioned, did they slip it away? They're not gonna ban it in the first phase, and in the second phase they got rid of the Sanking, and they had to get rid of the Ench because what she did last game was just amazing. And so maybe it actually they didn't see it through completely. And Digital Chaos, okay, it's good against Terrorblade, it's good against Timbersaw, Ogre, Keeper of the Light. I mean, it's really good Meepo game.
Yeah. And all they have left is their Fata pick that will be going against the Meepo.
10 seconds remaining.
They already banned out Shadow Fiend, which could have been one of the better options to have in that mid lane. And now the Mason Weaver, another great core comfort pick for them. A la TI4 even. It's just, this is feeling really strong for DC. Sure, when the Meepo comes out, it just suddenly becomes a beautiful draft, but it's the fact of the matter that DC might have been able to kind of sneak this one in.
10 seconds
But we'll see what they could do with a Fata pickup here. How's... Oh my. So
it's
Timber.
Okay, so it's mid Timbersaw, yeah.
Mid Timber against the Meepo. Huh. Makes you think, I wonder if they were considering that as something to prepare for. Once they grab the Timber, it's like, okay, we could just give MSS this Timber in the off lane. We could do that if they don't get a Meepo. But let's say they do get a Meepo at this point, since we didn't ban it. Well, if they do, we can always make an audible call, get MSS something else and just throw the Timber in the mid lane matchup. But how really is that mid lane matchup? I don't know, Lacoste, if it's even something you've ever played. I know you've already said already you're not a Meepo player, but Meepo versus
10
Timber
seconds remaining.
as a one-on-one.
Let's see what
5
else is
seconds
there.
remaining.
Well, with a good rotation from Rubik or even Treant Protector, I think Meepo can actually dominate that lane. There's gonna be Ogre Magi, of course, on the mid lane as well, so it's gonna be like a 2-on-2 probably matchup. I don't know. I'm not really a Meepo player. I don't think I quite get how strong that hero is. Every time it surprises me. I gotta be honest, because you can see it really rarely. You see V playing it or a bed when it's not banned, and that's.
It's always one of those things that like they get to bring that extra advantage to the team. It's just such a specialty kind of a hero. You know, you need that specialist to be able to do it. But if you have that person on your team, it just becomes an auto ban because the hero is just that good in those kind of hands. And then what happens is it just get distracted with maybe the series you're already so hardly invested into that you just tend to forget. And then that game happens, and suddenly the Meepo's out once again. You realize a quick lesson. But again, we don't know. We're not inside the room. We're not inside the voice comms of MP. Maybe it's something they were expecting. Maybe they're like, it could happen, and if it does, we'll just have to deal with it at that point. So we'll see if they regret that decision or not.
MSS with the just tangos, so he's saving up, wants to see how they're gonna put those lanes. Okay, there's a deep ward. He needs to see if he'll start in jungle or he can go to a lane.
Already feisty here. How we questioning the
30
Meepo? I don't
seconds to
know. Did they have some sort of prearranged agreement?
I didn't see.
It's funny nonetheless. Envy kind of scouting out to make sure they don't go too deep, planting any wards on that front. Aoi guards the mid lane. Dubu waiting up and above. Kind of has the idea that there's no sentry ward around, so he might get a bash bounty pickup here. The Tree Classic.
He's being scouted right now.
Ready?
The battle begins.
Oh, bash and pickup. There you go.
What sort of prize?
Now on the other side, look at this. Action to break out already. Onto Pi, they get the telekinesis lift pullback. Abed looking to follow it up with the Earthbind. And with the advantage in numbers here, Mason hits it home with the finishing right click. And it's Pi, so he's first blood.
Yeah, this is what we saw a few times from Misery and Saxa, and one more time from can't remember which team. They just tried to go on the enemy side and try to get a kill there, especially with a hero like Ogre.
Catching that solo mid laner on that casual walk back to block. Yeah. We've seen that. Teams have seen it so much that now they're beginning to capitalize on it and beat the hell out of them on the way to lane. But then you do it so much that then they counter that counter. So as the story goes here with Dota, Dubu, they're going full aggro. It looks like for now though. DC is this top lane.
Yeah, they actually swapped lanes. Envy is playing Terrorblade on mid against that Meepo with Ogre bullying Meepo.
Yeah, you know, he gets the Metamorph early, but I'm curious about the impact of Reflection if he decides to level that up. Like a lot of mid lane Terrorblades love to abuse. Maybe it's a pub thing. I'm not too sure, but you only get to see mid lane Terrorblades so often. I'm curious to see if it's something Envy will like to dish out a lot.
I don't think it works against Meepo at all in the early stages.
Yeah, fair enough. You know, I don't get to see this matchup very often, so we'll see what Envy feels about it here. Top lane, still dancing a bit back and forth. It's really tough for Pi to get really close. He's got Illuminate already leveled up, and you can't really blast the wave without pushing it forward and putting yourself in a harder spot. You don't want to be stealing farm away from Fata, so it's kind of an awkward spot to be a coddle right now.
That should help.
With a tree kind of hiding in the dark at all times, it makes it trickier. But yeah, bottom.
Yeah, bottom lane. it's Aoi just with the boots of speed, trying to get as much XP as possible because Axe started in jungle with Iron Talon, and it seems like they're gonna keep it that way for some time because he farms jungle fast enough. And on the bottom lane, yeah, I mean it should be a even matchup, LC against Axe.
But MSS putting priority on kind of blasting his way into some good early jungle farm here.
Mid lane.
Whoop. Dive on in. They earthbind down Envy. The poofs come out, and with assistance from Bulba and the telekinesis, he finishes it with the Fade Bolt, and Envy's going to be your first blood. Good rotation in from DC. Envy, unfortunately, you know, as a Terrorblade, is pretty low on the health. Yeah, great armor, but you know, poofs, they're going to hurt quite a bit if caught out in a bad position here. And it looks like we're going to get a bit of a rotation, huh? Mason takes his Weaver now to the bottom lane, and Forev is going to go all the way towards the top.
Forever, yeah. And MSS is back to jungle once again. He tried to go to bottom, and he's switching back to jungle mode. Full pub mode.
Dedicated pubbing mode in hopes of probably getting that Blink Dagger sooner than later. And there's not really anyone kind of invading at the moment. Dubu's been obligated to more hanging in this lane instead, not causing too much of a ruckus. Meanwhile, Envy went Metamorph, so Abed steps out from the lane, it would appear, or at least convenient timing for him to go for the jungle top lane. Fata trying to make it away. They need one more right click to get it. Can they? Yes, they can. Just
Moment
barely.
of courage.
Man, just how fortunate here. I guess a little bit of loving from the unfortunate
when you say
previous game.
Yeah, when you say fortunate, it means that you're rooting for DC. If you said unfortunate, it would mean that
I
you
shouldn't
root
be
for
biased. You're
NP.
right. My bad.
Yeah.
Well, Fata's back now. It's a hard shot to take early, but the aggro setup here from DC seems to be unfolding pretty nicely. Aoi will continue to benefit from a solo-ish kind of a lane for himself. The Ogre's got to get some levels pretty fast, which is always a bit nifty, I suppose. But overall, Mason not going to be under too much threat and should kind of coast his way into some good farm in the early part of this game. It's really, for MP at the moment, just eyes on MSS to just do his farm through the jungle as best as possible, because I don't really know what kind of follow-up kill potentials there's going to be.
Yeah, he's just stacking the jungle, continues to get some good amount of farm there. He's being uncontested because Treant is forced to be at the top lane.
Yeah, unfortunately, if he is to step away, Dubu that is, and Fata recognizes it. Oh, he drops a ward now, so he'll know when the tree's around. He can just go kind of on in on this Legion Commander. Ooh, Envy going to be taking down again. It looks like a repeat of before. A setup comes in from Bulba with a telekinesis lift, and Meepo's able to get an early grab, and they poof down Envy. And now we have a 4-0 start for DC already in game number 2.
Yeah, seems like Abed knows what he's doing. Who would think of that, huh? Every time meta is up, he just switches to forest, just continues to farm there. When it's
Dire's middle tower is
on
under
cooldown, goes to a lane, Bulba smokes up, and they get a
Radiant's
kill
middle
on
tower is under
TB.
attack.
And suddenly, Forev is happy to battle it out against Fata as the levels continue to come in. This could mean that Dubu could move around a bit more. We already see him hanging around towards this mid lane. As things continue to get the better here for DC, more pressure on MSS to try to get himself into a more relevant position. DC, look how mid lane. Tree leech seed from behind the tower. Envy's kind of like, what the hell's happening? Over to bottom lane now. It looks like they're going to rotate Pi over to join Aoi between these two supports. He can blast down the wave a bit, and they could maybe force Mason to step away from the wave as much as possible. Pi can freely blast here. It's not bad to take away farm from the Ogre.
I love the build on Pi. 3 teleport scrolls.
Oh no, Pi's in trouble. Can he use one of the teleport scrolls to make it away? He's got to kill that bug. Ah, he goes down. Forev has showed up, drops down the overwhelming odds. The Coddle Man will get taken care of. But here's MSS now. Walks in, gets a two-man call. Needs more spin lovin' if he wants to do work onto Forev. Envy's here now with a Metamorph, and Forev could be in certain trouble. Dubu tries to slow him down a bit, but they move on forward and they get their first dunk. And they get their first kill of the game.
Oh, nice
Dubu
call.
gonna get called by MSS, and now Owie and him will begin to chase and get the finish. Nice call there from MSS. That will definitely push him forward and getting that Blink Dagger a bit faster, but DC utilizing the other lanes as best they can in the meantime.
Good rotations from NP. They got some good kills on bottom lane and bought enough time for Fata to come back into the game on top lane.
Radiant's top tower is
Back
under
to the
attack.
jungle for MSS here. Holding that TP just in case he needs to show up at a moment's notice like that one. But eyes on the
top
prize
tower
here, and
is
the
under
prize being that
attack.
Blink Dagger. Connell seemed to be filming whatever, or filling whatever lane seems to be empty, so he can farm a bit himself. But overall, DC also just happy to play in the coasting farming kind of a game, as Abed is trying to finish out his
That should help.
first Dragon Lance of the game. And then, you know, Blink Dagger and such. We've seen this story before. He still holds top of net worth, but MP are probably just hoping to get the Blink Dagger and then be able to punish Abed and just take advantage of the fact he is the highest in net worth in the game.
Yeah, MSS is getting close. Not that close, but 700 gold away from Blink Dagger, so it should be like 11-minute Blink.
Dubu, it's only 2 points, but
Radiant's top
curious to
tower
see if
is
he'll
under
invest
attack.
almost all of it into the Nature's Skies in this one and just kind of pass on the living armor in this game. He's going to spot Pi nearby. Oh, MSS is super low. Oh no, Dubu could be walking in to a free kill. He's rushing that way. He'll hit him with a leech seed, but can't get close enough to follow with any further damage. Mason was rushing his way there as fast as possible, but MSS will dip, hit the shrine, and be okay.
Radiant's top tower
Scary.
is
Legion
under
Commander,
attack.
yeah, Legion Commander still without any dual damage. They just continue to pressure the bottom lane. Okay, top lane.
Fada on the tower will get easily lifted up. Abed will show up from the rotation and help get the finish. Easy pickings, it feels right there. Minor space
Roach
creation,
time.
but okay. That's the space creation right there. A double damage Metamorph. Envy going in for the Roach pit. I don't think DC would have any idea that this is happening right now.
Yeah, they smoked in and they have two good wards, just scouting what's happening on the side of the DC.
Roshan has fallen to the dark.
Very nice Roche pick right there for MP to capitalize on that moment. And it's MSS who actually grabs the Aegis too.
Yeah, you would expect Envy to pick it up, but Axe is getting close to the Blink Dagger, so I guess what they're thinking is if he initiates on Meepo, they can take him down, and Axe can still have one more
There's
extra
our
life.
duel of the game, the first one. And it could be for Owie. It will not lead to any dual damage. That Ogre just a bit too fat. But it will get them to pick off, nonetheless. And Forev is inching his way closer and closer to his own Blink Dagger. And it's not even going to come, you know, much later than when MSS gets a hold of his. So there could be good counterplay potential there. His Blink Dagger's done now, and he is right on Dubu. Dubu going to hit him with the punch. MSS walks around, pump fakes the call. Pi's here by his side, but it's a bit of an awkward spot. Eventually he will engage, get the call out, and chop down the tree. Very fitting, very lore fitting at that.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Also, okay, what is that? Rubik has Bloodlust stolen. Imagine late game if he steals Bloodlust and use it on all the Meepos.
Oh, yeah. And Weaver too, of course, but that is a very nice grab up. Something that will be easy to snag up too, I imagine.
Blink is ready on a bed.
Hello! I have a Blink Dagger now. Me and my Legion Commander friend are going to beat your ass.
Radiant's
She'll take your
middle
damage, and we'll
tower is
also
under attack.
move for your tier 1 tower.
Dire's
Sounds like a
top
plan?
tower is
Well,
under
DC
attack.
do it. And now they pull ahead, 8-3. But Mason also taking the tier 1 bottom lane. This one's getting a bit, it's feeling pretty heavy-handed right now for DC, I gotta say. But still, MSS, Aegis, Blink Dagger. We're hoping, if you're MP, to see a lot from that. Otherwise,
Yeah.
this one could slip away from MP a bit. The Abed Meepo continues to farm up, and now we see Forev with a Blink Dagger and getting proactive with the setups.
They need to find some kills with that axe. They need to use that Aegis to get some objectives. There's still tier 1 tower on mid. Treant is healing it, so they can't push. But with the Metamorphosis, they should be able to do it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But MP are waiting for their opportunity to move in. It looks like Ayasha's done, and this might be the time. A rendezvous with Aoi. He has the smoke, and this is it. If MP want a chance to kind of reclaim momentum in this early game, they got to make this smoke gank count. It looks like Mason has been spotted towards the bottom lane. If they can get a good blink call, he could be destroyed. Oh, he steps back in. He could be done for. They drop the sentry. Oh, they can't quite find the perfect
Radiant's
opening.
top
It
tower
looks like,
is
yeah,
under
Mason's
attack.
been able to spot them out. He has the ward over here on his side, and he just wiggles away. He's still around. They're dropping sentries. They spot him there. Aoi will turn, hit him with the stun. MSS looking to get close enough, but the range isn't quite there. He moves around the bugs. Now he can move in, get the call. Can they get the damage to go for the dunk? Oh, eventually they will be able to bring him down, but look at the step-in play coming out from DC. They show up to play, and they quickly burst through that Aegis. Now they time out the Earthbind. Can MSS get the calls, though? The spins come out. He's able to at least get the one dunk down.
Dire's middle
But it
tower
is
has been
a
denied.
triple kill for Abed. He
Radiant's
shows up
bottom
and puts
tower
no
is under
mercy out
attack.
for MP.
Looked promising when they caught the Weaver, but Legion Commander showed up, got some dual damage, and the Meepo with a, what was it, triple kill. That Hex is gonna be up really soon on Abed.
That was the big play. MP were hoping to be able to kind of get control back in this game, and they only hand over more power to Meepo for it. So things are going to be feeling a bit frantic here for MP moving forward, falling back on whatever they can to be able to give themselves a little bit of oomph in this game, and it's tough to see. I mean, Fata, he's got to build up and finishing out a Bloodstone, but I don't even know if I find that overall too threatening for this Meepo at that point. He could still easily get shredded apart by Mason, or even get locked down by Forev and his Legion Commander.
Yeah, the Timbersaw pick, this doesn't seem like it's working. Even if he gets that Bloodstone, it's not gonna do much, especially against a hero like a Meepo.
So MP take to the jungle, they take to their farm as best they can, and work around those cooldowns. It looks like Metamorph is back up and good to go. Fights to break out. Envy will try to show up. The jump is there for Fata, and here comes the counter fight from MP. Can they bring down the Meepo? Dubu steps in, gets off of wonderful overgrowth, and now the finish will be there. With Envy rotating in the Metamorphosis, they will be able to get the finish. Envy grabs up the Abed bounty and claims the extra gold.
And with a good TP, and he's gonna get recalled. Where on bottom lane onto Duel.
Oh, Duel's out onto Envy or onto Pi, but with the recall in from Pi, he gets the assistance and reinforcements show up. It was hard to catch the beginning of that one, but
Dire's middle
Pi gets the
tower is
recall
under
off
attack.
in a wonderful
Radiant
situation where
structures are
he looked like he was
fortified.
about to be free damage, but Envy's there.
Envy is all over the place again with Bloodlusted Terrorblade,
bottom tower
level
is under
13,
attack.
and AY has like a super high level. He's level
Radiant's
11
bottom
because he
tower
was on
has
the bottom lane
Yep.
all the time.
Oh, Pi's in trouble now, and I don't think that he can recall anybody to save him. He gets easily swarmed behind the tower, just trying to be a defensive hero as best he can, blasting out that top lane, but
Dire's top
easily
tower
punished.
is under attack.
But yeah, for the other support in Aoi,
Radiant's
granted so much
bottom
time in
tower
that
is
bottom
under
lane,
attack.
he's got great levels.
Dire's
Not a lot of gold to
structures
show
are
for it.
fortified.
He's an ogre after all, but he's getting close to the start of his Force Staff, which would certainly help.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Fada
Blade
is-
Mail. Yeah, Blade Mail finished on Legion Commander and one gonna be on Axe. So with that finished on Legion, they can lock down Envy pretty easily. There's no save hero for him.
I feel like for Rev, there's a good chunk of heroes on MP's side that he could almost solo down at this point. And with Meepo going straight forward for the sheep stick, they don't have to worry about boots of travel quite yet. Otherwise, Abed could pretty much be anywhere. Oh, did I say he could be anywhere
There
in
it
his
is.
bottom lane? Okay, there's the duel. There's the poof bomb coming out, and they're going to get the finish. Envy goes down. He's out for 45 seconds. Quickly, MP are looking to grab a hold of anyone still hanging out in the top lane that are going to be outnumbered, but they have already ran the other direction. This is getting very difficult quick for MP. Scrapping at what they can to get something done. Fata
There
does
is a-
manage to finish his Bloodstone now on the Timber Saw. I'd be very impressed if he somehow gets charges on it, though.
Treant Protector just scouting all the time.
Ooh.
He just saw a ward placed as well, so he's gonna deward it.
Mason's here too, but Mason runs through the Sentry Ward, and, well, I don't think they have enough burst. With Living Armor already coming out and a time lapse to fall back on, that's not an easy Weaver pick.
There is Hex on Meepo, 19 minutes in, level 20.
Just Abed things, really. And trouble's coming now. Pi. Oh, God. He tries to blinding light it back, but he loses nearly all of his life. The jump duel's on. It's a grab for Fata. He has that Bloodstone, but is he going to have to use it for a suicide? Yes, he is. And DC pretty much take over the top lane and show no mercy for anyone. Hey, Aoi got great levels this game, but he's going to die. Just easily shoveled apart. Abed thinking about going in even deeper for MSS. But
Yeah,
eventually they
this is
pull
a-
away.
Classic Meepo thing, now it's his time to shine. Roche is up. as
Okay,
well.
MSS gets the grab for Meepo. If they can burst him down enough, he can go for the dunk, and they'll get the finish.
Alright, so much about shining.
Okay, DC are lingering around. And maybe need to give a little bit more respect to MP when they come back, but Dubu is narrowly avoiding trouble. Uh-oh. Seems like he lost his invis, and now MS is going to catch him with the call, and they'll pick him off too.
Middle tower is
All right,
under
there
attack.
are
Again.
a couple of freebie little picks right there.
Again, Roche timing favors NP. It's just spawned and they're gonna do it. This time, probably Terriblade's gonna pick it up.
Oh, I would imagine so.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
He'll take that Aegis and hold on to it till at least he has that Metamorph ready to go again. But you are right.
Dire's
For the
top
second
tower
time
is
straight,
under
this
attack.
Aegis Roshan timing
Radiant's
just
bottom
works out
tower is
splendidly
under
for
attack.
MP. And look at that, MP and Fata are able to get the jump on Mason and take him out too, without even the help required from the rest of the guys. So they'll finish out the Roche, they'll grab the Aegis, and suddenly MP are
No.
flexing their muscles. Oh. 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 They pull in Fata, and he takes the Aegis.
So maybe it's a third time for Envy.
He's going for Yule's next as Fata too, so.
Well, yeah, it's more defensive item against Meepo. Also, you can go out of Overgrowth and you can just Yule Legion Commander if he duels someone.
Scans out, but they don't quite catch their target. Oh, but they may. They move in. Dubu's between them. Is he like, am I safe or not? Aoi has a sentry. Is he going to plant it? Oh, they plant it! Dubu! He's caught. Oh, jumping though. Duel from Forev. Trying to commit to save his friend. He goes down 1 by 1 DC. Looking to move on in. They will manage to bring down Fata in that first Aegis life MSS also going to be dropped on this one. Mason time-lapse back. They're looking to burst apart and finish off Abed, but Abed manages to surround Envy and finishes him off too. Mason tries the Sakuchi away. They drop the sentry, and Fata is able to get a hold of him with that second life. It's Fata who will be the janitor to clean things up.
Wow, that reflection really doing so much job against Meepo, and Timbersaw right now is also a good counter to Meepo. Also, Blinding Light doesn't let Meepo do the right-click damage. But check Rubik meanwhile, Bulba, man. He didn't die this game.
2-0-10. Wow.
Yeah, it's really a wow, especially against these heroes.
He has been either just blessed by not being under the crosshair of MP or just always in the right space at the right time. I guess I'll give him credit for not giving anything extra over to NP's side of things. But we'll take a moment, and as you can see, what was once a pretty strong beginning for DC, getting close to a 6K net worth advantage, game back even once again. I mean, would you dare say that it's an advantage regardless of that number, 600 or not? Did you say it's an advantage for MP at this current moment, or is DC still in a good spot?
Well, depends how the next fight gonna go. Look at the sentry wards on the bottom lane.
Yeah,
like,
I see. That was the chase for Dubu or something.
Yeah, it looks like a little warm. That's how you play against the Treant Protector. Just place as much sentry wards as you can. I mean, Ogre was having a good time on the bottom lane, so he has good items, so he can invest a lot of his money right now into sentry wards.
Which is always just a joy, I'm sure. Having to just sacrifice all of your hard earnings to the gods of wards. Let's take a moment, since we have a bit of a pause. I don't know what was the reason. I don't really know. Whatever the reason may be, it doesn't matter anymore. We're going to get underway. We'll take a quick roll call of some of the items out there that may have been recently acquired. Looks like MSS is going to be building his way still towards that BKB of a pickup. Force is nearly complete for Owie here to help on the slide. A very important item to watch out for. Pi getting the finish on that Agnems would be very, very nice. But he's got 1,000 gold to go. So maybe a farm path through the jungle and he'll have it.
Yeah, Owie says...
Oh, sorry. Duel happening as they get a good breakout catch onto Fata and take him out. Maybe farming the ancient camp nearby. He's going to go down, and Dubu's already looking for a follow-up. Drops down the roots to lock MSS in place, and now Abed and Mason will easily clean him up. And just like that, DC take over the bottom side of things, and they're going to be having a tier 2.
Yeah, well, this is where DC lineup is good. It's about being aggressive right now, picking off the heroes with that Legion Commander and Hex on Meepo. You were talking about Aghanim's on Keeper of the Light. Ogre was an offlane hero, let's call it. Then he tells Keeper of the Light, look at me, I'm the support now, you get your Aghanims up.
It's going to take a bit, though. It'll be nice, and it will hold out a formidable high ground defense. But with the way DC have been able to kind of get the jump, anywhere outside of the base is just not safe. Maybe a lot of credit to Dubu in the tree. He's really an invasive problem. Windlays and Tranquils, he's just like running all over the place, able to kind of scout out any opportunities that MP are simply trying to just farm inside their own turf.
Well, that's what Treant Protector does. I mean, during the mid-game, he just provides where the enemy is, where the sentry wards are, if they place any obs, so he dewards it and just heal towers. I mean, hero is not like a mind-blow skilled hero. You need to have a good movement.
It's just a headache to deal with, I'm sure, and a serious amount of sentry investment, and just something to always have to keep tabs on. Even now, like if they were to pop a smoke, it would be just quickly scouted out. Looks like Dubu doesn't want to hang around though, and he takes the TP leave.
Legion Commander finished a BKB, so it's gonna be a lot easier to get the dual damage, especially with that Yule Scepter on Timbersaw and Blinding Light on Coddle, so pretty much whoever he goes on will die.
We'll see if there's going to be any opportunities for them. There's the Agnems now done for Pielidae. It's daytime now, and they have 2 minutes to work with, where they'll have this very nice unobstructed vision. Pi can begin to move on forward, slowly peek things out. He's already going to get the possible sight of Dubu here, but they'll need another sentry, unfortunately, to be able to see him. They drop one now. They'll see the ward. They'll take that out, and DC quickly run out the other direction and create some space for themselves. Now they converge, looking to go for Dubu. Will DC help him out? It looks like they'll not. Oh, never mind, they move in, and they try to get the jump onto Envy here. Are they going to be able to bring him down in time before he can get the Sunder off? It looks like they will. And now they look to set onto MSS. MSS pops his Blade Mail. A blasting hail will fly out from Pi, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. The poofs fly forward from Abed, and he begins to go to work. Vata will be next, and he can't stand to it. Pi tries to help out with a blinding light, but eventually he will crumble down into a piece of machinery. And this is all going to be on Aoi trying to run behind the tower and hide, but with Forev and Abed, they're happy to Dosaido around the tower and get their finish.
Again,
it's going to be a five-man. It's going to be a five-man wipe as well. Beautiful catch from DC. And it all started with an opportunity of MP trying to get the jump onto Dubu and the finish. They get Dubu down, but at that moment is when DC strike. And
Dubu just being a sacrificial lamb for his team.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And again, Weaver kind of struggling this game. Usually we see Mason being on top of net worth. This game kind of struggling to get there. Still not Lincoln Sphere finished.
All in due time, I'm sure. He's got 1,000, 1,200 or so gold saved up to it right now. DC have just kind of put themselves up on a pedestal where they will be probably granted the space necessary to even farm those items. Plus they have Dubu the Watchman out there to kind of see if MP are trying to be up to any unusual business or smoke and move out, while they continue to just kind of bulk up as best as possible. What do you look to do now if you're in this position as MP? Are you banking on just a formidable high ground defense, or is it maybe almost considering the point of getting a smoke and just going out there and trying to find a setup?
Well, what they can do is try to go for like Roche play once again. Roche should be up in 15 seconds.
Definitely something they could easily double back to if they want, and it looks like they may. Bulba plants down the Obs ward to be able to get a sense if MP do want to rotate themselves up and over.
Roche spawned Meepo, taking him down. It's gonna go down really, really fast. The MP can't really react to that.
No, certainly not. Man, look at his farm. He's got that E-Blade now. Drops down one pair of his shoes to welcome the Aegis, and even throws the cheese in his backpack as well. And just like we saw last time, at this point he's just going to build up into another E-Blade and just go all in on the agility.
Yeah, and it's almost done. I mean, he needs 1k gold to get that second EB. It's time to go right now. Look at that big tower on mid. Bloodlusted.
Yeah, but I don't think that expensive, dark, bloodlusted tower is going to do a lot to stop the roll of DC at this moment. We'll see, though. DC casually wait back. They have actually a DD rune nearby. How convenient for them if they want to make something happen out of that. But as we see, MP just totally indoors. No smoke in pocket. They're not waiting to smoke or anything. They are just holding the line, it looks like. It's like Braveheart here for MP, just waiting and welcoming the warriors.
And we know how Braveheart ends.
Yep. I don't know, maybe I would hate to say that at the end of this game it only turns into a game where MP learned their lesson to make sure Meepo's banned, but is that how it's feeling? Is it just like, oh, well, lesson learned, keep Meepo banned? Is it really that simple?
Well, if they ban Meepo, maybe they will pull out something else.
But
in the next game.
Is it going to be something more threatening than Meepo is always that question, but here we go. Envy tossed up, pulled out from Bulba, and into a duel will evaporate him. Take him out of this game for about a minute unless he decides to spend his biggie banging for a buyback. He might have to, though. His team's about to crumble apart. Abed able to move in. Gets the takedown of Aoi, and a follow-up should be there for Fata as well. Tries to timber chain to the side, but he is done for. He'll be the first one to dip into that piggy bank and pulls out that buyback now. But this could be the beginning of the end already here for DC. At just about 30 minutes in, they are having a party inside the base of MP. Okay, now, we have a Yule's play here. Hoping to get a hold of one precious Meepo. They will dunk him down. But that's just going to cost the Aegis. Mason moving in. They're pulling Abed in as close as possible. They're able to get Bulba down, and they manage to get a hold of Abed. MP getting anything they can from this respectable hold. Forev steps in, duels it out. Can't quite get the finish, but eventually Fata will fall. But look at this, Abed wants it over. Buys back, comes right back to the mid lane, and takes it to the tier 3. Envy at this point is going to be forced to buy out Metamorph and do everything he can to hold the base inside. Now DC look to turn and run. It's going to be Dubu eating the pressure. He gets stunned up and taken apart. Mason could be next. Time lapse back. Looking to walk away. The Lincolns will get popped, but Aoi is scooting on forward. Looks to finish him off and gets it done with the stun. Woo!
MP saying that this is not over yet. Okay, they had to commit buybacks, but also Meepo had a buyback, so that's a full man wipe. DC lost 5 heroes. And they got a lot of gold from it. Keeper of the Light has 3k gold. What does Ogre have? Where's your gold, Ogre?
He's got, I mean, in his bank, he's got about 1,100. Was he one to spend a buyback, though? No.
Coin of the realm.
But it did cost MP overall quite a lot to defend that. And it obviously was enough to just keep their heads afloat in this game. It will earn them more time. Just the ever question, though, is what time for what? You know, I felt like at the back end of that fight was mostly credited to DC just maybe overstaying their welcome, getting a bit overexcited. I mean, even buyback investing into that. But you know, at one point, MP are not going to have any more buybacks to fall back on, and I don't know how much the scary Terrorblade is going to be.
Yeah, well, that's true. They were at tier 4 tower diving, and good Yule scepter by Timbersaw there, which managed to get a kill, remove Aegis from Meepo, and then suddenly Meepo spawned at tier 4 tower, and a good call from Axe with a blade mail on, and it just burst him down.
Yep. Yeah, they did everything that they could have possibly wanted within those few moments of DC getting just a bit too excited with that push. And MP is looking to mend their wounds as best as possible, get right back to the objective at hand and bottom lane. They will try to relieve as much as pressure as possible. MP has Metamorph up and ready to go now as he just crumbles apart that tier 2 tower, getting some extra free money for him.
Yeah, he also has a Butterfly finished, so that's going to be really good against Weaver. No True Strike yet, and also against Meepo.
Yep.
Well, Meepo doesn't get much bigger than this. Okay, he can get one more item, and that's it.
Will that one item have to be an MKB or Bloodthorn?
Man, nah, I don't think so. Maybe a Bloodthorn, but or he wants to go. What I see is Manta style.
Okay. I mean with leaving it to Mason alone to pick up the MKB should be good enough.
No, but Mason needs one survivability item still. Against Mana League, Blinding Light, the BKB is the best item.
Yeah, that plus
Radiant's
Lincoln's will
middle
help this
tower
Weaver
is under
survivability by a tremendous amount. Ooh! Looks like MSS have been able to spot them out on the gank approach, but Forev counters back with his own dual play. MSS with that BKB, though, shrugs off a lot of the damage, and it's Dubu who's going to be in a bit of trouble. Envy, Metamorph now, looking to fight them through into that choke point. Abed yet to even approach the fight. Tries to throw out the Earthbinds from the low ground. It's MP, though, who eat a couple of casualties here. They lose Fata and MSS, and they're about to lose the rest of their transformation. This is still a fantastic fight for DC, and now anything they fight, anything they will find here, they will take. And the first thing they're going to find is Owie, it looks like. Ooh, move in, and there will be the finish.
Oh, but the Bloodlust is stolen. Let's see how good push can they make with it. Casted it on Meepos.
That should help.
And quickly Abed is trying to get these two side lanes pushed in as fast as possible here. MP have done it once before, but it will take a hell of a miracle for them to be able to do it again. Another hold. We look at the buyback report, and at the moment, there's nothing available here for MP. This is going to be a bit scary here if DC do decide to ramp things up, but for now, just finishing off the shrines, it looks like, or at least getting one of them down.
Roche can be up in 15 seconds. They're not scouting it yet.
Fata will try to push out those lanes there, but this is looking overall still very, very great for DC. This Roche to be theirs, and then another attempted push in. It's really on DC to kind of make the mistakes here moving forward to even allow MP an opportunity to be a significant force in this game. They have even a tier 1 to still break through in this mid lane. I mean, with Tree on the team, it's been already a bit of a struggle for them to kind of advance things forward as it is. But still resilient as ever. MP will try their best to defend it out, but now the fight could be here. Not a catch from Forev, though. He commits his BKB and his Blade Mail, and they don't find a dual target.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, and also Treant Protector ulti as well.
So double, lots of cooldowns already spent here from DC. Actually enough to just allow them to step back. Looks like Roche is going to be a little bit of extra time here for him. About a minute before it's up and ready.
Only one hero has a buyback at the moment, and that's Legion Commander.
Maybe a factor if a big fight is to break out at this Roche pit here, but at the moment I don't think DC are even comfortable leaving the front door.
A golden thread.
And it's going to be just about up here. Easy pickings here for DC. Are they going to smoke? No, there's no one's with the smoke. Smoke in the backpack of Owie here, but I think MB have already just accepted the fact that their final hurrah is just going to be inside their base. They saw what their best chance was from the last time there was a defense, and I don't know, maybe they're hoping for a bit of the same for this go around.
Yeah, well, they should focus on farming those buybacks if they want to have a good base defense.
Yeah, it's... Let's see here. Fata's been able to kind of scrap together his, and so has Envy. So that helps a little bit. Getting those two cores that extra time and money to be able to get that second chance now. But DC are going to be coming into a new push with some new toys themselves. Not sure exactly how many, but I'm seeing like Halberd done on Forev now. He's got Demon Edge himself looking to finish out his own MKB. Mason has that BKB himself done. And just like that, the Roche is already going to be down. A new cheese, a new Aegis here for Digital Chaos, and a new opportunity to be able to take this game and even the series up 1-1. Dubu walking in, gets the root connection onto Envy. Envy going to be forced to use his Manta and run back out.
Double damage on Weaver, plus cheese and BKB. Now they can start some even split pushing, especially with Meepo Manta style.
Mason does work finishing out that last shrine here. And now comes the DC approach here. Begins to happen through this bottom lane. All of MP's vision just kind of outside their doors to see any opportunities to maybe get a catch outside, but
Terrorblade decides to spend all his money, buys a full Skadi. I mean, if they want to win a fight, they need to have everything
yeah. I mean,
spent from their bank. Yeah.
in that first fight, you know, he'll be dishing out that if he's coming back and he doesn't have Metamorphosis and he didn't win the first time, there's really not much of a chance for him. So might as well just give it everything you got with that first big Metamorphosis. I think one of the most unfortunate things that could happen to him is if somehow DC bait them into a fight where he pops Metamorph and DC could just back out again and wait for it. But man, they are taking this one super safe. Lots of respect probably granted since the last time they tried to make the push in. So they are trying to make sure they get all lanes accounted for here. Nice little benefit of the Meepo, of course, to be able to do that a bit faster. But DC not going too far ahead of themselves.
MP just smoke. They have gem ready, so I mean, it's still good if Treant dies to a smoke gank.
Yeah. Oh,
they
yeah.
just kill him. It's still worth it for DC because you don't have smokes, any smokes left.
Absolutely.
Invisibility.
Now MSS has been able to find an Invis rune. Bulba's the gem carrier for DC, so as long as they avoid that kind of trouble, they'll be fine. But this seems to be a smoke expedition to get a nice little obs ward down towards their ancient campsite. But promptly back indoors does MP go, where it's safe. They are just all backing on this high ground defense, it looks like for now, to be able to keep them afloat in this game. Abed at critical mass here. He can't even hold his sheep stick anymore as he has that Aegis.
Yeah, he's just using Manta style. When it's not on cooldown, he switches
That's what it is.
Hex into inventory. So
I see that. Manta's out, poofs it up. And we'll just continue to use that when he can to split out all the remaining side lanes.
So what do you go from your on Meepo? I mean, okay, he has Aghanims in Quick Buy. That's one extra Meepo, and I mean you can't get any stronger than that.
No, that's pretty endgame at that point. I mean, shards on top of it, but you know, your Meepo has pretty much done all he can do and has done his job in the game at that point. That you should be getting the win, if possible. And it looks like DC are set out to do so here. It took a little longer than expected, but this is their timing, they feel. And they're going to go for it. A smoke move from DC down the mid lane. They await anything from MP. What is MP going to be sending down this mid lane? Now he shows himself. Dubu moves in, able to get the obs ward down, so high ground vision's kind of there. Bulba briefly lifts him up, but they frantically scoot themselves back inside where it's safe. Now they lost their ward, so DC have the vision up there. Pi continues to blast the waves as best he can while MV is split pressuring the top lane still. But look at the whole...
Two MKBs finished on DC, one on LC, one on Weaver. But still, they can't really kill those Draxes.
Look at this hold. Eventually, Bulba will decide to go in. The telekinesis pullback is going to be there. The follow-up duel could also find connection. The Blade Mill's going to get popped. The root goes down. Envy lives on. He pops his BKB. He uses the Sunder and goes into the Metamorph. Oped steps in, looks to challenge him out, and is he going to be able to take him down? It doesn't appear so. Envy holds the ground, turns it around, and flips it on their ass and gets the finish. Dubu also going to get dropped, and it's DC frantic to escape. This MP Turtle team can hold a high ground.
Yeah, they have good heroes to hold the ground, the high ground. Also, Envy, they couldn't actually get a kill on him with Legion Commander there. There was no follow-up damage.
I guess, being committed so deep. I'm not too sure what happened with Mason at the moment and what he was tied up with, but he was unable to be able to get in there and dish out the right clicks. It was pretty much all in for Ev to be able to go to the finish, it felt like. And Envy, with the help of his team, able to survive on forward, and suddenly NP are the ones heading down the other direction, and they're going to be taking the tier 2. And look at this. They're heading up into the high ground. Abed does have a buyback, but to force it out would be a pretty impressive feat already. I mean, this is a game where still DC have a 20K net worth advantage. And now the tier 3 is going to be going down. A jumping commitment from Proev. He's looking for the dual connection. It's going to be there for Envy, while Dubu's getting sliced down from Fata. MSS also there, able to hold and keep it strong, but Abed shows up and helps take down Envy. And now it's going to be NP's turn to turn and run. And we see Fata and Pi frantic to try to make it out. Pi says, come this way. Fata's going to be able to make it out. Meanwhile, Forev will get the jump and the finish on Aoi on the other side.
Is the Roche up? No. Abed had to commit to a buyback there, so what's the buyback? Envy pinged it out 46-35, so he's not going to have it for quite some time. Also, this is a problem with Meepo. I mean, the hero has 6 slots at 30-35 minutes, and after that he just becomes like that's it. I mean, he's not stronger.
That's as good as he gets, and if he ends up losing fights, he's just handing over the best net worth in the game to the other team. And you're hoping for your number 2 to be able to step up, and maybe even your number 3, which they still are sporting this pretty nice tri-core lineup as DC. And as you can see, that turnaround does sport them the first Rax takedown, but they're not done yet. 10 more seconds for Envy. He does not want to use that buyback, so they glyph their way through it, and they will wait for his approach. DC could just get the tower and quickly exit. No, they're going to stay and fight. Envy's back now. Fata will commit the Yules onto Forev, who pops his BKB. And now is when they quickly try to run. Can MP get a hold of anybody on the way out? It doesn't appear so. Fata, though, determined. Rushing himself on in. Would need 9 more seconds before his Yules becomes available. Dubu could hit him with a bash and try to slow down with the roots if possible and just be that sacrifice, and it looks like that could be the case.
Oh, bottom lane, they're trying to split push.
Ooh, Mason inside the base. Poking at that tier 3, able to bring it down to half of its life, will force MP off of Dubu, and even he will survive.
Yeah, that's what DC should be doing, just trying to split push. They don't have a good catch besides Axe, and that's pretty much it. I mean, Weaver has a Lincoln Sphere, so you can't cast Mana Leak. Even if it does, there's a Black King bar. Roche can be up in 2 minutes. It will be up in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's a longer timer at the moment. A lot of the Roche timings had been to the blessing of MP in this game, but this one, I don't know. We'll have to see. MP have already taken a crossing of the river right now and feel a bit more comfortable about trying to move forward. Their buyback situation is looking pretty good. Both teams, with the exception of Abed, who still needs 4 minutes, does not have a buyback at the moment, and maybe that's what MP are hoping to do here. I mean, if they somehow, some way find a way to take out the Meepo here early on, it could do some serious damage.
If they take down Meepo, they can take the game. But there is another Hex finished, Rubik. This Rubik is so farmed.
Bulba 3-1 and 22. For a while there, it wasn't even caught out or picked off, but Bulba had been doing a great job kind of leading it with these bleak telekinesis setups.
Double damage.
Yeah. 50 seconds, though, before the Roche is up. This timing not the perfect one for MP. It's still DC wait inside. Obviously not too sure what MP's game plan is at the moment. Waiting out for the return of Abed. He's back now. And the pings are out for Roche. Both teams going to be looking to get attendance for this one. curious about the timings between still nearly 3 minutes. So if Abed interferes with a fight, I mean, there could be like a minute of time where he doesn't have a buyback.
Yeah. And Roche is up in 10 seconds. Double damage Terror Blade. Is it running out? Okay, it just ran out.
It's up now. How fast can they do it? Are they going to be able to take it down in time before DC can show up? They go to work. Bloodlusted Envy here wants to do it without committing the metamorphosis. Probably hoping that they can get this Aegis and then use that metamorphosis in an offensive push and hopeful finish. Still 2 minutes for buyback on Abed. This Roche is going to be going down. There is a
Roshan has
fusion on the
fallen
way,
to the
but
dagger.
that will be it. Okay, look at that. Surprisingly, MP still able to take more Aegises in this game over DC, who have had such a commanding position overall.
Yeah, they took 3 out of 4 Aegises this game. Still 21k lead. And they can't really fight into this.
That's crazy. Abed bottom lane, he is looking to push things forward and through down there, but MP are looking to take a fight before that buyback is even available. MP pops out the ulti and they begin to go to work. It is now going to be nighttime, unfortunately, for Pi. That means that there's not going to be any additional heals coming out through those blasts, but even the living armor heal for the catapult here. Oh, a jump in grab, but the telekinesis at the same time. They're not going to be able to attack him with the disarm there. Envy holds on and is able to get off the Sunder to Forev. And he will step off. Tries to turn and fight out the last bits of his life and the last bits of his Aegis, but the root will find him, and a Fade Bolt will go for the finish. Now for his second life, it looks like MP are just going to withdraw from this one.
Yeah, there's no meta, and the buyback for Abed is in 30 seconds, so they should just go back to farming, try to get more farm on that Terror Blade. Well, the thing is, they need a Lincoln Sphere for that Terror Blade, so he can get initiated on by Legion Commander.
Every time, that is what happens too. It's just a matter of if Envy is able to kind of survive through it and get the Sunder off at the end, which to his benefit has worked out pretty well recently.
Yeah,
but
well, now with Satanic finished, he's not gonna get that much damage from Legion Commander's duel.
It gives him like pretty much that full extra life. He's at 3k HP to sport, and you know, with a Sunder and now a Satanic, it's almost 2 lives if he can get his way without too much lockdown. But DC happy to already go the other direction. They're looking to work within that cooldown window where they still have 20 seconds before Metamorph is up. Let's see what they can do about it. We'll quickly glance over the buybacks once again. Pretty much all available with the exception of Owie for the side of MP. So DC will have to wipe through MP pretty much twice here if they're hoping to go for a finish. But again, the freaking wave clear of MP and the high ground defense is just something else. Vata Chakrams dishing out, Coddle Illuminate blasts, blinding lights after that. Like, there's really no chance to hit buildings.
Seems like DC also can't push. I mean, there will be almost a full E-Blade on Keeper of the Light, so it's gonna be really good if they initiate on Terror Blade and he just casts Ethereal Form on TB.
Why
EB
not
for TB?
Why not him just get the Lincoln Sphere then also and give that to Envy? It's interesting he opted to go for that. I guess if you want to E-Blade also blast anybody on top of it. I mean, it's great.
Yeah,
it's a great save for Terrorblade.
Yeah, but this way he commits to it, and you can actually focus him, and the Terrorblade only receives magical damage.
The benefit of also avoiding the physical burst of Mason as well.
But there's no magical damage besides like Fade Bolt and Poof.
Yeah, very true.
Shiny!
Also, I wonder what happens. Meepo has Aghanim Scepter, so if he puts Aghanim Scepter in backpack, does one Meepo just disappears?
You're asking the wrong guy. I would imagine so. The item is not active. There should be no way that the Meepo will stay around.
So which one disappears?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question.
So you're about to die with like one Meepo on the side, then you put
You quickly throw it in your backpack and it doesn't count anymore? Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting question. And something I've never seen, so maybe we'll have our answer. Maybe we won't. Something to keep an eye on for sure. But Mason, going to work right now, sieging his way in, is able to soften up this melee Rax. It's down to about a third of its life, if that. Before MP can kind of maintain the top lane again.
Yeah, if they continue to do this, they will take the Raxes. Maybe someone should be on the bottom, like Meepo, just use few hits with all Meepos on that tower while Mason is on top.
And the second MP step out into their front yard, DC do not want to hang around. They just run right out.
Double damage.
Man, so much respect from DC to MP after two different attempted like game-ending pushes here from DC. MP have just shown too much resilience in that. DC have to take a serious calculated approach to trying to close out this game, or it's going to take a serious envy baffle to like throw this one out.
Well, Envy still has items to finish. He can swap. Okay, there it is. Boots of Travel.
Dire's top barracks
When he
are
has
under attack.
Butterfly, he can actually have maximum move speed without even having BOTs in inventory, plus Refresher Orb, plus Moon Shard, so he can still get items.
Here's DC yet again. Top lane, slowly trying to chip away at whatever they can indoors. Pi is being the fortress here between him and Fata on serious creep clearing duty. Creep clearing. Okay, Mason. He's like, this is my chance. Moves in. He's hitting it as much as possible, but then he gets hit with a blinding light, and he's like, okay, I'm done, and runs right back out. And then back in again. And he's like, I can get some more shots. Oh no, but I got called. And now I got blasted. And now I got a time lapse. Scooted in. I really wanted this Rax. Can he go for the finish? Is he going to get it down? MSS gets another call, holds him there, and looking to dunk him out. Can they get it? No! He's able to scoot
They're
away
on
from
bottom.
trouble.
Has fallen.
Envy.
Bottom lane.
Dire's bottom barracks are
All the
under
meanwhile, look at Abed clearing out what's there, is not able to get the one Rax down, and quickly scoots out the other side. And Mason's dancing back in. I see now the approach that DC are going to be going for here. They're hoping to split apart MP as much as possible.
They could have done it a long time ago. I mean, there is only X call that they should be afraid of. Also, one thing they could do is, if they want to like split push, they can build Aghanim Scepter on Mason and just, let's say, go in with Legion Commander, BKB, press
Yeah.
the attack, just kill Raxus and
Oh.
send him back.
She goes in on her own accord and takes down the Rax. She will pay the price for it, though. But look at this. That means Mason could go in, and he gets one Rax down. He's looking to go for a second one. He's hit with a blinding light. He has to wait it out. The Lincolns is going to get popped, and then he tries to take his exit. Is he going to get out, though? They wait for him to come down from the Yules. He still has a time lapse. He's able to get it off. Gets his life right back, and he goes in again, and he finishes the Rax. What a play from Mason, and the Mega Creeps are unleashed. And the struggle will begin for NP.
Oh, he's running away. He had a few miss hits there on the Raxes because True Strike doesn't work from Monkey King Bar, it doesn't work on buildings.
That should help.
And you can tell Bulba mini-map drawing a relief. The team feeling much better now and more confident now that the Megas are out. And with the Roche up too, it makes things all the sweeter. MP, it's looking like this is going to be turning from a best of 5 into a best of 3, with this ending into a win for DC in a 1-1 series. Holding
Game
hope, though.
still, yeah, game is still not over.
No, not at all here. Envy's about to have his Metamorph back up again. And even though there's Megas now as opposed to the creeps before, their wave clear is still that good. It's good enough to take down Megas. It takes a little bit of extra something, but they will still be able to clear out what's inside their base here and do enough to be able to maybe make one more play happen. Here's DC now, back towards that top lane. All lanes already taken care of, but
For the 56th time
yeah,
on the
I
top
know.
lane.
But they don't, you know, they just they don't want to just throw themselves in there. You know, MP are now the wild animal that has been backed into a corner. And even though it seems like it's going to be an easy finish, stuff like this happens, and suddenly they get caught off guard and lose Forev, just like that. And MP are feeling pretty good, it looks like. They want to go on in for more. Dubu going to be dishing out the root. Mason still trying to pester his way within the base, taking out all those little buffering structures so the creeps can focus on the real prize. The rest of DC just step away entirely, it looks like.
Good call.
MSS inside is able to get the finish onto the Aegis. Envy waiting, but Mason will simply step away on the back of his Lincolns. It's a good hold here, but transformation rather is going to be on cooldown soon. But look at this, Fata has grabbed the hold of Abed here with the Yules. They take him down. Now he's dead. 100 seconds. Can MP somehow clear out their base and force a buyback out? I don't know. We could see.
This game might actually last for the next 10, 15, 20 minutes even.
And it wasn't a Naga Alchemist kind of a game. Go figure. Terrorblade nonetheless. But they are able to get their creepy catch here. Not even running out inside the front of the MP base is going to be safe, as Forev was the one to fall victim to the initial catch from MP on that one. I mean, what do you do at this point? DC do a nice job pulling apart MP to get Megas, but now you're just in that awkward spot where it's like you got Megas and they're trying to do all the work for you, but do you actually have to come up now with a game plan on finishing tier 4s?
Yeah, which are buffed with Bloodlust, and they have a glyph ready. So this game really will last for another 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes.
It's one of those situations, like I know I've had games, we've seen games like this many times before, because you always hold out that even if it feels like that, let's say 1 in 50 chance that MP are able to pull this one off. There is the one chance that they do it, and suddenly it becomes one of the biggest turnarounds you've seen in recent Dota. I mean, a game that was over 30K and it still remains to be over 30K in net worth. I get that at this point, net worth doesn't mean as much, but it had been an advantage for DC the whole game.
Well, the reason is that they have Meepo, so Meepo tries to build like Necro Book and tries to split push with it.
Yeah, shenanigans for sure. It's for items here, they're just going to keep dropping down Necro Books and chip away anything. But there's still even all these little, well, I like to call buffer towers. The creeps have to like walk up to, and FNGs and everything. It's going to be a bit before they're able to just kind of go right in and get a hold of tier 4s and go for the throne. This is tough. Tough one to finish. They're just feeling like little resilient cockroaches almost. Oh, Mason. Trying to catch anyone split pushing here. Refresher for Envy. He has it in his backpack now, Lacoste.
Yeah, that's for double meta. Plus he has another 8,000 gold.
Still hasn't gotten himself a shard yet, so there's always that. Ooh, bottom lane MSS. So they're able to get the catch grab. It's for Ev to go down once again. Never suspect that deep of a pick from MP at this point in the game, but they get it done.
Yeah,
Rev goes down, but just more time stalled.
X picked up a Shadow Blade, so and with the BOT's level 2, they can just TP on X and try to get a gank going.
That should help.
Yeah, just kind of hoping to go for maybe any additional ambush plays.
Say hello to my
They found a
lesser
pretty
friend.
good duo right there to be able to pick off anyone who is far from home.
We didn't talk about talents. There are still heroes who are not level 25, like Keeper of the Light, 400 cast range, Ogre when he hits 25, plus 40 Bloodlust attack speed, for Terrorblade, Axe, what does he have? 15 armor.
Now, normally I like it when I play my Coddle, I go for the extra burst of Illuminate Blast, but obviously when he has these critical items like Force Staff and E-Blade and such,
Yeah,
that 400 cast range is pretty ridiculous.
yeah, especially for EB to cancel the duel. So what Meepo can do is buy a Refresher Orb, use a Necro Book, then refresh it, use another Necro.
Ooh. Not able to get in for the optimal setup right there, and a Boots of Travel 2 was used. This might be DC's opportunity to finish this one out. They move in for the duel. They're going to get the grab on the Pie, and he's going to be going down. Immediate buyback for him as he tries to TP into the action now. Envy unleashing the Requiem, trying to find the optimal target, looking to go for the finish on Abed. Can they get him down? Yes! But Mason continues to go to work, helping the bring down of Fata. It's Mason now under pressure. Envy still hits so damn hard. They're trying to kite him out. Duba and Bulba hide within the trees, but eventually they'll get spotted and they will get finished. Buyback's there for Abed. He's heading right to the mid lane and right to the base. Pops out the Necro and pushes it all down that mid lane. Go, my creeps! Meanwhile, Mason, though, was able to get the jump and get the finish onto Owie. The rest of MP have already headed back home.
Yeah, pretty much nothing happened. They took down 100 HP on the tower, which will heal.
Buybacks used, though, is probably the other big factor. One
Yeah,
used
for
on...
Coddle, one Meepo.
Yeah, the Meepo one obviously is a pretty big buy. Envy has that new Metamorph ready to go. He already threw the Refresher on cooldown. And has that new fight potential ready to go, but it is starting to tighten up around their Ancient a bit. And they're doing everything in their power to try to fend off DC here. DC are just not looking to get caught out too awkwardly here. They slowly begin to burst down the FNGs and zig themselves back out. They are pretty much Muhammad Aliing this. They are just in and out, in and out. And then Mason makes his in and gets caught out. Lead in Blink is going to be there from MSS as he locks him in place and forces him down. He does have that buyback available, but Abed has already found an opportunity to move in and go for the Roche. The 6-1 of the game?
Yeah,
Something like
yeah,
that.
I think it's 6th.
70 minutes in, it's only game 2 of this best of 5. Oh, it's going to be a long, long night. Sorry there, Lacoste. I know you're especially late where you are, but the Dota's just too hype, my man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's only 3:30 a.m.
Good stuff, though, from MP, putting out one of their best defensive performances. They have been in a crippling situation for the longest of times here, and DC have been having a hell of a time trying to end this one. Meepo has been at his critical mass for a half hour, I think, or something of that. Mason has already gotten himself up to his own bit of critical mass, too. But dealing with Envy and dealing with MSS has been such a ridiculous problem that they're able to manipulate these fights always in their favor and be able to burst through, you know, the Meepo or the Weaver.
Yeah, who has Aegis? Meepo again with he doesn't have a buyback.
So he needs to have that extra life, of course.
Where's the cheese? Cheese, 2 cheese on Legion Commander.
Legion Commander, and then it looks like Mason has one in, or had one in his stash. I don't know where the hell that one went. But he's back now, and DC could give it another try, let's say. This time they have the Aegis on Abed, so he has a second life. Mason gets to hold on to his buyback, so you always can get those buyback time lapse in.
Regeneration.
The lanes
They
are
just
still pushed.
smoked.
Okay.
They just smoked.
All right, DC, let's see if you can do it here. 70 minutes in, are they going to be able to take this one home? They have worked so hard through this game, holding the lead the whole time to be able to get this Game 2 win. MP, though, have been giving them a run for their money. Already dancing in a bit. The call jump is there. It's on to Bulba, and the Rubik gets the Yules off just in time. The leapfrog over. The Sunder comes early to get the MSS save while he's caught within the duel, but it's Abed looking to go for his eyes on the prize and setting right for the tier 4s, but that is when the glyph's going to be coming out, and they're going to quickly burst through Abed in that first Aegis life. Now they're looking to get him on the second time. Can they do it? Yes! Envy brings him down, promptly so. Meanwhile, Mason looking to target down Owie. Can't quite get it and heads out the other direction. Mason steps away, but it's Envy still doing the work as he gets the finish onto Bulba. The rest of DC have to escape. Meepo goes down. He doesn't have a buyback. They actually managed to drop Mason, or MSS here. Has a buyback, does use it. MP frantic. They need to fend off this base and try somehow to head the other direction, but DC are not going to be looking to let it happen.
They managed to take down the tier 4 tower meanwhile, and took 1k on the second
Dire's
one.
middle tower is under attack.
Well, they're taking it slowly. It's only been 73 minutes, so no rush.
About 4 more times, they might be able to get that tier 4 down, and then they get to finally start working on the Ancient. So it's a slow process, a slow burn. But DC are making their way there. In all seriousness, though, this is MP just pulling out some serious clutch defenses, too. Envy is doing a serious world of hurt onto their team. And, oh, we don't stop there. MSS still en route over. It's Fata actually leading out the front on this one. But now MSS is looking to run in. DC, though, may have been able to slip away. Oh, blind jumping call. So close. It's so far to being able to get the grab on Dubu. And at this point, MP might have to just pull off. Dubu is blinking his way up the other side, though, hiding within the trees, frantic to escape, getting caught out within the sight of a gem or sentry ward or anything. Oh, he is right next to Envy, and he actually gives Envy a nice little tap and then goes on his way. Super annoying tree.
All right, tier 4 tower healing up. Imagine if MP had that Treant Protector.
Oh, that would be swell, wouldn't it? Yeah, this game would still be going on and probably still trying to fight through and get a hold of Megas for DC if that was the case. But DC's damage potential is really the one that's been stunted and stuck, and they're trying to just kind of outplay around MP and being able to go for the finish because these 5-on-5 fights are just clearly not working for him. And one overcommitment of going in with a committed buyback and you end up losing could also cost them the game, so they're not looking to take any sort of unnecessary fights when they don't have that extra life to fall back on.
Seems like Meepo wants to go for some ninja crawl shit invisibility build. Just try to take down tier 4 tower while they're fighting.
And at this point, and you can see it spreading, you know, Dubu has that Agnum Scepter. He's just planting eyes all over the outside of MP's base. Any tree ult will just clinch onto anything. And obviously, we'll be able to scout out anything when MP try to move all over the place. You know, they have Fata, so he could just chop everything down, but currently he can't even step outside, so. This is crazy. We're about to be 80 minutes in this game, and DC just can't close this one out. It's been Megas for about 25 minutes or so. I'm not too sure.
There was one game where like I can't remember who, but teams agreed that someone won because they couldn't actually finish the game.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it like it wasn't a team decision? I'm sure it was an administrative decision that they couldn't win.
Well, it can't last forever. I mean, this might.
I mean, what a story it would be. What an anime tale it would be if NPR able to pull this game out. It would be all feel worth it. It only would feel terrible if they end up getting the loss. But okay, there's the jump in for Pi. They take him out. Pi back immediately. Envy looks to move in. BKB pop. And his force is going to be unleashed here. And MP are holding right under their tier 4 towers. Abed inching forward as best he can. Now looks to make his move. He puts his sights on for the tier 4, but Envy looks to hit it hard. The chakram ripping right through Abed, and his Meepo is going to get dropped. Now looking for the secondary target. It's going to be the Mason. Weaver, time-lapse, back into the action, pops his BKB. Abed buys back. And now he's going to Brucha Travel, trying to coming in and trying to go for the closure. MSS going to be out of this one, and he has no buyback. Fata goes down, has to buy back. Envy goes down. This could be his buyback too. Have DC finally been able to close this one out? Envy pops out his new refresher, pops out the new metamorphosis, and it's all on him. Can him and Fata hold the Ancient? They are trying to get a hold of what they can. It looks like they finally have been able to do it. DC will take game number 2 and tie the series up 1-1. And unfortunately for NP, all that long drawn-out effort will not lead to any success. Oh, man.
Well, finally they decided to go like all in. Everyone had buyback, so they couldn't just try to kill one, kill again if they buy back. I don't think there was a buyback on Axe though, so. And it's against Mega Creep, so when you're fighting, those creeps deal some serious damage.
It's even hard to kind of think back at what the hell happened through the early part of that game, since it ended up going on so long. But you know, this all transpires from the draft. You know, MP welcoming the challenge. Maybe they intended it or not. Whether they slept on the ban of the Meepo or welcomed it with open arms, we'll have to see if it's something they are going to be willing to challenge for the rest of this series. I imagine no player would love to go through a game like that again. So we could be seeing the Meepo respect ban from every game here moving forward, I'd imagine. But that was a long one. This day is going on. But we're not done yet, guys. This is a full best of 5, and that is just game number 2. With the series 1-1, we got plenty of Dota ahead of us. I'm Dota. I'm Dota. I'm Dota. We're playing Dakota. That's Lacoste. We'll be back.